It's January, and it's one of the most important time periods of the year as a business owner, and one of the first deadlines you need to be aware of is that 1099 time. This is also going to be one of the more boring parts, but it's actually needed for you in order to stay compliant with the current tax laws. Now, before I deep dive into 1099s, I want to differentiate a little bit about what is an employee versus a contractor, because a lot of the times new business owners, hey, they want to make everybody a contractor. Hey, let them pay the extra taxes and not have to worry about them being an employee, retaining them hourly. They might not be needed yet, but I want to differentiate the two so that, hey, you guys don't run into employment tax issues in the future. And like this individual here, Peter Thomas, where he was sentenced to a certain amount of period of prison time and then also 2.5 million in federal employment taxes, evading that. Now he's having to pay the penalty on that. So I want you guys to completely avoid that. So first thing we're going to talk about, what is a contractor and an employee? Well, how can you differentiate the two so that you can make the determination if should they be a 1099 or should they be a W-2? One of the first things is to determine if they are solely working for you. If they are solely working for you, they're most likely going to be on the employee side and you're gonna have to issue them a W-2. But then if they are able to work for multiple people, multiple employers or multiple companies, multiple jobs, then they're most likely going to be a 1099. The second thing is if you fully dictate their schedule. If you are telling them, hey, you need to show up at this hours, giving them 40 hours a week, then they're most likely going to be leaning on the employee side. If you are very loose and hey, as long as the job is done, then you're going to be most likely leaning on the 1099 side. And the third and last thing is how they are going to complete the work. Okay, they are measured on KPIs and certain requirements, then they're most likely going to be leaning on this side. But then if they are going to be somebody that is, hey, get the job done, and then once the job is done, then they're going to be on to their next task or their next job, next gig from another company, or even with you, and they're most likely going to be 1099. So onto 1099s. The most important date is January 31st is where most 1099s are due, where you have to send the copy to the recipient and you have to file with the IRS. Here are 3 instances where you won't really need to issue a 1099. The first one is going to be is if that business is incorporated. 2 is if they are a non-US citizen working and living outside of the US. And then 3 is if they are paid through a credit card payment processor. And the reason for that is because majority of the times credit card payment processors will issue them an additionally a 1099K, and you don't want to be issuing them yourself a 1099 because they're going to be receiving 2, and it's going to be a huge issue trying to fix that problem. So when do you need to give someone a 1099 is if that contractor or freelancer is getting paid more than $600 from you. Before you decide to pay them more than $600, you should definitely ask them to fill out a W-9, which is going to be including information of the taxpayer's legal name or business name. 2 is the social security number or the EIN. 3 is their current address, obviously to issue that 1099. And then 4 is actually how much you paid them during the year. These are all 4 very important information that we need so that you can file your 1099s correctly. After you receive back that 1099, hey, go ahead, pay them by all means and continue that engagement with that contractor or freelancer. Now, how to file your 1099s, you can actually go ahead and file directly with the IRS FIRE system. You can also ask your tax professional to fill it out for you, to get it done for you. And then you can also lastly go online and look for an e-file service. There's so many of them online. They can also help you that way. So whether you're doing this yourself or having someone else do it, make sure that you or the other individual is filing with the IRS and issuing 1099s to your contractors or freelancers. That's all the information that's needed for 1099s. We hope you guys stick around. Please subscribe. I look forward to providing you guys more tax US content. See you guys. Bless.